The real reason AEW have signed a WWE name, an injury emergency behind the scenes in AEW, and my review of Dynamite. I'm Oli Davis, and this is the WrestleTalk News.
Support WrestleTalk!
Late last week, it was revealed a senior member of WWE's writing team, Jennifer Pepperman, had left the company, which was their decision. They weren't released. I speculated at the time some reasons that could be. Perhaps it was a ripple effect of the UFC merger, or maybe The Rock just tried to take her spot too. Turns out it's actually a case of the Pepperman to AEW confirmed. Soap Opera Network, because Pepperman is a 3-time Daytime Emmy Award winner, initially reported the story, with AEW confirming later on that Pepperman was All Elite as Vice President of Content Development. Tony Khan is quoted as saying that he's thrilled to welcome her today, and I look forward to her creativity and collaboration with our team across the board. Pepperman was WWE's longest tenured female member of the writing team, where she was recently most focused on the SmackDown Women's division. Her joining AEW and another big female signing is a heavy indicator Tony Khan has big plans for his own women's roster, because Dave Meltzer has added a bit more context on Twitter. She just quit WWE last week, and those in WWE believed she was AEW bound because she's very close with Mercedes Moné. With Moné all but confirmed to debut at AEW's Big Business in her hometown of Boston in a couple of weeks, it looks like she'll be keeping a close friend and writer with her. It's unknown whether Pepperman was a recommendation from Moné or if AEW were always interested in bringing her in. Once upon a time, we all hated the idea of Hollywood writers in wrestling. You just need one booker in a room, like the good old days. Well, that was before AEW had to put on about 98 hours of programming each week. Hopefully, on her first day, she does what the Wrestling Observer once reported she did in WWE. Apparently, Pepperman brought her Emmy with her to the writer's room shortly after winning it for Outstanding Director of a Digital Drama Series, putting it on the table in front of her, which apparently annoyed Michael Hayes so much he told her to put it away. Pepperman will join AEW's backstage creative team that's made up of people like Pat Buck, Will Washington, Jerry Lynn, Christopher Daniels, Dean Malenko, Jimmy Jacobs, and a recently returned QT Marshall, all of whom assist Tony Khan. And it seems like that backstage unit has been recently tested, as Tony Khan tweeted ahead of last night's Dynamite show, calling it one of the most hectic weeks for injuries and unexpected availability in AEW history. Fightful Select have reported that Kyle Fletcher was struggling with visa issues as of late, which is why he hasn't been featured on AEW since January 31st when he faced Chris Jericho. Fletcher was reportedly lined up for an ROH TV title program against Ethan Page on ROH, but hasn't been able to wrestle in the United States for a while because he's Australian. Nailed the accent. Been practicing ahead of Elimination Chamber Perth. There's also the ongoing injuries of Adam Cole, Bandido, Chuck Taylor, Jeff Hardy, Juice Robinson, Keith Lee, Kenny Omega, Kota Ibushi, Kyle O'Reilly, Mark Davis, Pac, Parker Boudreaux, Ray Phoenix, Roosh, Stu Grayson, and Wheeler Yuta. Despite AEW's huge talent pool, it's still a sizable chunk, including some heavily featured performers in there too. So add in travel issues or last-minute changes as well, and that's a recipe for chaos. And then a concerning end to last night's episode of Dynamite. Hangman Page was seen holding his ankle after landing awkwardly off a muscle buster reversal. He was checked by the doctor after the show went off air and limped to the back. Page is set for the world title 3-way main event for next Sunday's Revolution pay-per-view. Before then though, it's Elimination Chamber this Saturday. We're not doing live reactions, but we will have a review here on WrestleTalk and a podcast review over on the WrestleTalk podcast channel. Make sure to subscribe and enable notifications to know when both of those goes live, as well as our brand new episode of Tables, Lists and Chairs on Sunday, where we rank the top 10 best wrestling promos ever. Here's a clip.
I've gone for Dusty Rhodes' Big Heiny promo. The famous line where in that promo where he talks about having a big Heiny. I got a big belly. I got a big Heiny.
My belly's just a little big. My Heiny's just a little big.
That's what the promo's remembered for.
Yeah,
Nothing
yeah.
else.
He's written like the whole reach now. It's got a very Tevalangelic
Evangelical?
Televangelist?
Yep.
No, Telly Savalas was he was an actor.
He's reaching out, it's like, all the power, all the trust, all the belief you've put in me. Put your hands through the screens. I feel your hard times.
Yeah.
It's in Cody's
perfect.
song.
Yeah.
My father said when I was younger, hard times make better men.
Yeah.
And Big Heine. That's in there as
Big
well.
Heine, yeah.
That's Big Heine.
Now it's Thursday. You know what that means. My review of AEW Dynamite in about 5 minutes. The show opened with a battle of the 3-letter acronyms. FTR versus the BCC, with Dax and Cash going up against Jon Moxley and Claudio Castagnoli after Mox wouldn't stop choking out Harwood last week. Right, okay. Like to make a correction for an earlier part of this episode. FTR and BCC, they're not acronyms. They're initialisms, because you can't say those 3 letters as their own word. Like, for instance, scuba, which, a lot of people, they don't know that. Scuba is an acronym. Self-contained underwater breathing apparatus, which you can say all as one word, scuba, when it's taken down to the first letter. Not like FTR. That's an initialism. Oh God, I'm meant to be reviewing Dynamite. When did Cash become such a wrestling bastard? He wrestled with far more swagger than usual, doing Claudio's taunts at him and helping Dax cheat behind the referee's back. I haven't seen this much fire from Cash since Bret Hart's Hall of Fame speech. After the 15-minute time call, everyone started hitting signature move after signature move, setting 5 minutes of awesomeness to the time limit draw, just as FTR might have been about to win with the Shatter Machine. This prompted a big pull-apart brawl, which started up again backstage after the break, setting up a match between the two teams at Revolution. This was all fantastic. Despite having a hectic media tour in London and a surprise appearance at the weekend's Rev Pro show, Orange Cassidy still subbed in for his best friend Trent to take on Mike Bennett. I feel Cassidy has done more for the ROH Tag Team Champions than the ROH Tag Team Championships have. Because just like his fantastic main event against Taven last week, Orange let Bennett shine here. Cassidy won with the beach break, but the dastardly Undisputed Kingdom attacked him afterwards. Strong, Bennett, Taven, a heel trio so credible they were chased off by Jake Hager, last seen in a storyline about his hat. Thank God the Undisputed Kingdom has Wardlow. We like him now. Ric Flair then appeared from out a fancy car backstage where he asked Renee Paquette the age-old question of many top wrestling stars. Why doesn't this major storyline have more me in? Feeling slightly jilted that he came back for Sting's retirement to not really be involved in it so far, he revealed he's going to explore his options, whereupon he entered the Young Bucks dressing room. I mean Nicholas and Matthews' dressing room. Please don't fire me. In a great decision by AEW, Tony Schiavone then revealed Revolution will have Christian defending his TNT title against Daniel Garcia, hopefully elevating Garcia with his recent momentum while also letting Copeland sell his concerto injuries from last week. This brought out the patriarchy where Christian, for a change, targeted Garcia's mindset in his match-building promo. And also his dead dad. He, of course, also brought up Garcia's dead dad. And at Revolution, Christian doesn't want to be Garcia's opponent. He wants to be his father. Garcia had a great reply, challenging Christian to come down here so he can put him in the ground like his dead father, and then stood tall by getting Nick Wayne in the Dragon Tamer while Daddy Magic took out Kill Switch with a chair. This was an excellent segment to build the TNT title match and Garcia. Tony Storm beat local enhancement talent Sydney Winnell with Perazzo's finishing submission, leaving Deonna to beat Madison Rayne with Storm's ankle lock in the following match, although it was likely the awful-looking spike DDT into the mat that really finished Rayne off. Yes, by the way, you did hear me right. There were 2 women's matches on this episode, yet still only in the same amount of time as the average women's Dynamite match. Tony Khan scores a technical victory. Storm attacked Perazzo afterwards, wrenching in the ankle lock for them to separate in the fantastic in-camera trickery of making Tony's side in black and white and Deonna's in colour. Sting cut a measured, subtly fuming promo on the Bucks, saying how in all his years, nobody has ever targeted his family, but the Jacksons attacked his sons, and 7 days ago, Sting's dad sadly passed away. No, Christian, you've got a different feud! It got Sting thinking about his own mortality, and at Revolution, he's going to give the Jacksons the fight of their lives. I thought that was the best promo of a night of great promos. And then, out came Wardlow. The hometown Tulsa boy scared Shivani out the ring with not just a fire I've never seen from him before, but also a totally new style of delivery. He talked about how that rocket strapped to his back several years ago must have been upside down. He said he beat the real world champion, referencing CM Punk without saying his name, so bad his body is still falling apart. He squashed the former champion MJF, and he choked out the current champion Samoa Joe last year. He's the best wrestler in the world. He's better than you. But this is no longer wrestling. This is war. I was so scared he was going to say Wardlow's World. I'm hoping this will go down as the moment when everything Wardlow finally clicked. He's always had the look and the wrestling. Now, he's got the personality. The subsequently announced Meat Madness match for Revolution is surely a way to give him a big, meaty win. Jay White already feels like he's trolling the Bang Bang Scissor Gang from the inside, not picking Austin for a match. Will Ospreay got a hype package ahead of him on Dynamite next week? Don Callis said Hobbs is going to win Meat Madness, and Sammy Guevara is a cuck. And then we got a terrific main event six-man of Hangman Page unhappily teaming with Hook and Rob Van Dam. It literally said that on his name bar, against Swerve, Brian Cage and Joe. It felt like a star power loaded match with heaps of added context between all the characters from the last month and a half of TV. Joe's interactions with Hook were loaded from their title match. Page had once picked RVD to fight Swerve. Swerve, Joe and Hangman with the looming three-way title fight a week away. But as always, it was Swerve and Hangman that rose above it all, with Page's obsession on Strickland frequently costing his team the win. Swerve accidentally kicked Joe, seeding more tension there, but Joe got the win by choking out RVD. This was a great match with great characters, making it a great build for the pay-per-view. What more could you possibly ask for? Well, Hangman Page not to be injured, so fingers crossed on that. This week's Dynamite is 90%. Now go watch us count down the best Royal Rumble matches in WWE history.